Hey, what's happening, Cheesecake Nation? It is Supercharged Funk and the Dave blasting at you with another This Week in Wrestling. This is going to be a lot shorter. Definitely not a two-parter like the last one. So, yeah, let's kick right into this. So, this is the week before Clash of Champions, so...
Or as a lot of everybody's been fucking up and calling Night of Champions.
Or Clash of the Champions, or some variation of the two.
Night of the Clash. Champions of the Night.
Alright, so, kicking...
Night Clash.
So, mosquito. Alright, so it started off with Roman Reigns come down, and before you can even get two words in edgewise, Steph comes down, and then Mick Foley comes down, and they talk about, you know, this
She
and
did him
that.
a favor.
Effectively, yeah.
There's no way he was gonna cut a particularly good promo. Like, I lost twice in one night. I should still be in the #1 contenders match.
And obviously Kevin had, like, problems with this. And this would later accumulate to our main event, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, like, Kevin's issue with it trumped everything Mick said. He's like, I beat him twice in one night. How does he deserve a shot? And Mick was just like, he does. Get over it. Fuck you. That's
Well, I mean, they didn't give him the...
Yeah, it was non-title, but still, like, if you beat the champion, which we'll get to it when we get to it, but a little...
So,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge towards the main event.
So, speaking of main event matches, this one was looking to be a pretty good match. It was Seth Rollins versus Rusev.
My boy, Ruru, he came out, did good shit. Real solid for what we saw, but then
They took it to the outside, and they all got counted out, and then
they fudged it. Yeah, definitely down to see like where they're gonna go with it. I've heard a couple rumors of them putting the title on Reigns as a way of moving Rusev up the card, which I think...
If you're against that, then you just need to go...
Yeah.
Somebody needs to old yell your ass.
Yeah, I have no issue with it. As long as they don't try to make Reigns into like the new John Cena Open Challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind some variant of a fighting champion gimmick, but where you're like, make that the main event every week to try to make him look good. It's not going to get over. Like Cena built up a lot of fandom, and there's really not a whole lot you can do around Reigns. Like, who's he going to have a match with that's going to get him cheers?
So, yeah, so take that match for what it is, you know. Some people might have liked, you know, the whole, them going out and Seth doing his flippy-doos and all that. Some people like Dave, you know, like, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I was okay with it, but I kind of wish they had just a decent match.
These are like my two guys on Raw. So, after this match was over, I knew I wasn't going to get no more. Kind of made the remaining 2.5 hours a little hard to get through.
Yeah. So, next up we had Braun Strowman versus
Speaking
Sin Cara.
of things that are
Part
going to
two.
eventually just drain all my energy. So, the other guy I like on Raw. Alright match. I saw a lot of people complaining because Sin Cara went for a moonsault. They're like, how do you know Braun Strowman was there? Like, well, maybe because he's 300 pounds and running. You kind of sense that shit when the whole ring shakes. So, some people were kind of complaining, like, running power slam for a finish. I'm like, it's a legitimate strongman. I like it more than a lot of finishes in WWE, so yeah, fuck it. A running power slam worked for a bajillion other wrestlers. Why the fuck not? He's big, he's tall, he's strong. He just throws you at the mat. Good, believable finish. Good shit. I like it more than the reverse choke slam. I like it more than a lot of shit, so I'm down with it, running power slam.
Yeah, they made Sin Cara look... They tried to give him a little, you know, steam going at the beginning. He was looking all right, but, you know, they still want to make Braun Strowman look like he's fucking Doomsday.
I still got a feeling they're biding their time. They want to put him and Brock together, and I don't think they've come to the conclusion of where they want to go with that yet.
Right.
But he's legitimately probably the only young guy on the roster who has a real shot at beating Lesnar. I've seen people like, oh, Nakamura. I'm like, yes, that'll look good. He's like, hey, Chinchazu, and he's like, Brock's chest is thicker than fucking Nakamura's legs. A better chance of breaking his hip. So, I don't know.
Alright, so next up we had the ladies tag match with Sasha and Bayley versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke.
Yeah, after the little background segment, I do have to agree. I'm trying to remember exactly who it was so I can give them credit. I want to say it was, what is his channel called? He does, I think it's Brian Zane. He does a YouTube wrestling channel, and he referred to Dana Brooke as the Mimsy. Like, Mimsy from South Park. And yeah, that's kind of what she's become. Like, they're just bumbling, and you always blame Dana. I don't know. So, didn't really give a shit about this match. Didn't really...
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they'd move Dana away from Charlotte, just kind of...
Yeah.
Especially after last week, it kind of came to a head, but then she's just like, I'm sorry, Matt, I done wrong.
Because I like how everybody's shitting on Dana, but it's like, she hasn't had a chance to look good. So
Yeah.
what do you expect? So I say you gotta get them away from each other. It's starting to put the stink on Charlotte, and
Yeah.
she was the best thing on Raw for the women's division, and she's starting to get a little bit of that stink. Sasha and Bayley, I'm just not into Sasha.
I can see why, though.
I'm just not seeing it. And Bayley, I like her, but I don't see the hype.
Right.
I think
Well,
she's good.
you like her, but you don't understand why people like her as much as they do.
Yeah, it's like she's got a good presence. She's got a great gimmick. She looks good. She wrestles solid. But like, is that it? Just good. But a woman being good is just like, oh my gosh, the greatest thing ever. She's the best thing on NXT, and just like, she's alright. I don't think she's particularly a great promo. Yeah, that's just me. I thought the same thing about Sasha. I just don't think. I see a lot of people like, oh, she's the best talker. I'm like, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think any of the Raw women are particularly super strong on the promos, which will contrast with Becky when we get to SmackDown, because I thought she, despite her strong accent, probably cut the best women's promo in quite a while.
Yeah, that one with yeah, we'll get to that. So, Team Heel picks up the win.
But I do have to ask before we move on,
Right.
Would you agree SmackDown's women roster right now is looking better? Before, I would have said Charlotte alone was better than anybody on SmackDown.
I am very much enjoying the women's matches on SmackDown a lot more.
I brought it up in a couple past episodes of this week in wrestling. It really feels like two people are booking these, like two separate people. I got to assume Vince is taking a back seat, and I don't know if it's Vince or Steph and Shane, or if it's just two different creative teams, but just like the principles of booking are so different, and you could see that grind that people hated on a lot of the Raw stuff.
Yeah.
Like the stink of just not going anywhere. And even though there's some stuff on SmackDown I don't like, at least it feels fresher. Like they're bringing back old stuff, but they're also doing new stuff. But I don't want to just make this sound like a lot of hate. I'm looking forward to the triple threat. I kind of hope they ban Dana from ringside just to keep it 100. I don't want any like fucking shenanigans. Or if we get shenanigans, I hope it's more of a direct. Like, there's no disqualification in a triple threat. You have two faces, one heel. If you have, Sasha out high fly and Bayley out just bruiser Charlotte, and then you have Sasha and Bayley in the ring and they're, wrestling to a standstill. Charlotte just comes in with a chair and clobbers both of them. Pins them both. After she clobbers both of them. Just to assert her dominance. I think that's a solid
cool.
story.
I'd like that. I like that a lot.
Where she doesn't look like she's the best wrestler, but she's the smartest. No disqualification. You can have her do it. Or clobber him with the title, whatever you want to do. But just keep Dana away from it.
I feel like they have to give it to Sasha or Bayley just so they can insert Nia Jax into the next pay-per-view.
I think they still have more to build on Nia. Granted, I'd like to see Nia and Charlotte, but I think the money that WWE sees is going to be on Sasha and Nia because there's a bigger size difference.
True.
And really, nobody cares about a heel being overpowered by another heel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Alright, so next up we had yet another Bo Dallas squash match versus a guy named Gary Graham.
The grandson.
And I would like to point out that this is... There might have been at some point, I just never caught it, but they were cheering Let's Go Jobber.
Yep.
That was...
And delete.
Yep.
Delete. Delete. Delete.
Yeah, shit's going in a weird direction when they start throwing TNA shit into...
Well, you have the grandson of Michael Hayes there. So... Yeah, kind of a note. Nothing special. I like the Firebow showing, but other than that, they're really not doing anything. He's just kind of winning matches, but he's not building characters.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to what they're going to be doing with Bo.
I could distill exactly what's going wrong with Bo. Is we have no storyline reason of why he had to change an attitude. He needs to explain that so we can get behind him. Because right now it's just...
He's just
he
being
used to
an
be
asshole.
nothing, and now you're trying to tell me he's a killer. But there's just a disconnect as a fan.
Yeah.
So I just need some reason. I don't care what it is. You could say, this is his last chance. If he didn't shape up, he was getting fired. Whatever you want to say. And just give us some reason. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's okay. Alright, so next up we have the 6th out of the 7 matches in the Sheamus versus Cesaro matches. And
See you at the pay-per-view. That's pretty much all I have to say about this.
Yeah.
Match 7 at the pay-per-view. Who didn't see that? I'm not even going to... I literally called this at the very beginning of it, but I'm not even going to take credit because it's the most obvious fucking booking in the universe.
Yeah.
Heel goes up. Oh, I'm wearing a sweep. Face rallies. Oh, no, you're not. See you at the pay-per-view. And your winner is probably going to be Shamo. Because I think they're probably going to get the title off of Miz. And they're going to trade Miz and Shamo. Or Miz and Cesaro, I should say. Cesaro goes to SmackDown. Miz goes to Raw. Raw needs some new heels, and SmackDown could just use another warm body that's gonna get over. And he could definitely get over on the SmackDown more wrestling focused show.
Yeah.
Alright,
Definitely see that. Yeah, Sheamus has been looking a little bit better these last couple of shows.
I mean, I'm gonna be fair. I'm not a Shamo hater. I know a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I get it. A lot of people that's not their cup of tea. They don't like just bruiser, big hoss matches. I do, but I get it. People don't like it, and I'm not going to argue with somebody. It's just whether you like it or not. I think Shamo brings on a lot of hate to himself, especially when he was doing the Irish John Cena gimmick.
Yeah.
1-800-feller. So. Right.
Sugar? I'm really hoping that came out of your nose. Okay, yeah, that's just Sugar snoring.
Alright, so let's slide on into the next...
So... This was... Alright.
Is this the clusterfuck?
Yeah.
Alright, so there's one thing I liked about this. Jericho doing the list gimmick again, which is a callback to his great WCW man of 1,004 holds. Arm bar. You know, that greatness. So he had a list of all his complaints against Mick Foley, and then all the mid-card came out to interrupt him. And he's like, I'm going to make a new list of stupid idiots, and you're all on it. And then Sami Zayn ran out, which was really weird because they actually had even numbers before
that's what I was thinking, you know. They just ended up omitting Xavier.
Which is something I've got to talk about. I've kind of talked about it a little bit on past episodes. My issue with the New Day as a face tag team where they're 3 men against 2. I have a really hard time taking that seriously. It's like, oh, it's terrific. Look at these guys. Like, if they're heels, it's one thing. Yeah, they're cheating assholes. There's 3 of them. And granted, Xavier doesn't cheat that much.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, you have to put an asterisk on, and like, alright, it's one thing if you're heels, like, you get an asterisk. When you're the face and you're trying to be like, oh, I've held it for over a year, but it's like, yeah, but you're 3 guys who held it for a year. Like, there's a reason the Freebirds used it and they were heels. Or the Brood, or all these other 3-man groups who were heels and did this gimmick. So, I don't know. I'm not digging it.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically, this was a 10-man tag match. Team heel, Jericho, the Shining Stars, and the Club versus Sami Zayn, Enzo and Cass, and the New Day, minus Xavier Woods.
Who was on the outside.
Outside doing his thing. And faces pick up the win. Not much to say
Yeah,
about
it's just kind of a clusterfuck. I'm not a big fan of giant matches like this unless they're Survivor Series elimination rules.
Yeah.
Because those tend to end up working out pretty good.
So, moving right along, the first showing of some of the cruiserweights that got signed.
Holy butt-fuckery Mick Foley. He could not get those fucking promos out to save his life. He botched about 4 times, then pulled out the script. I was just like, wow. Like, they must have just typed it up. Like, he had just no time to prepare, because he pulled it right out, and he was like, you could tell he was reading directly off it. He's like, from something Mexico.
Yeah.
El Ropo. Grand Metalik. Alright, so I have to ask, you think it was a mistake to put him in a fatal 4-way because it doesn't really show off cruiserweight style the best?
Yeah,
Because it felt a little disjointed. You kind of had a lot of guys that have never really wrestled. Like, fatal 4-ways can work, but you need to have, like, really good chemistry.
Yeah.
And the fact that Perkins wasn't there.
Yeah, it was...
Like, I felt like they should have had a squash match with Perkins to show off all the cool shit Perkins can do.
Yeah.
Have him murder some other cruiserweight guy. Have some of the other cruiserweights, like, you know, situated on the outside of the ring. And then later on in the night, have that #1 contenders match.
Yeah.
Because you know what I would have done? I would have scrapped that big 10-man dumb shit match. And I would have had 3 cruiserweight matches. Technically 4, because I would have the quick squash, or even just show like an abridged version of the finals of Metalik versus Perkins. Just show that fucking match. Why the hell not? Be like, oh, if you haven't watched it, here's the finals. It's like the best thing WWE's done in quite a while. Like, why the hell wouldn't you want that out to people so they can be like, holy shit?
Yeah. And this was kind of a weird group. So, out of all the guys that were shown that definitely have contracts, Metalik is the only one of those guys that showed up. But we also got Rich Swann,
Who is an NXT guy,
Cedric Alexander,
who is now an NXT guy,
and the Brian Kendrick.
who trained Eva Marie. Alright, so I gotta wonder, are all of the cruiserweights going to work NXT? Because they're probably only going to do 1 or 2 segments on Raw, so you're probably only going to need 3 or 4 of them. So is everybody else working NXT and then they'll get called up for shows here and there.
That's a good
Because
question.
some of them definitely need,
Some fine tuning.
yeah, a little bit of gimmick work.
So I could see that. That's probably what they'll end up doing, in all honesty.
Merlin. Whew.
She's just sitting there like, what? I don't think you guys can see her, but she's just over there, sitting on the corner of the
She
chair.
just left the litter box and holy mother, sweet mercy. Oh God, my eyes burn. Might need to take a break.
We only got one more match.
Alright.
Just one more match and we'll pause. Alright, just Kevin Owens, but Brian Kendrick picks up the win and he's going to be going on to face TJ Perkins.
For the captain's hook, not the bully choke. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. Oh, sweet Caroline.
So,
Marilyn, how did you produce that?
so last match was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a cage match.
So you had the giant kerfuffle commentary being like, look at that, Kevin Owens is escaping the cage. What a coward. How does Roman Reigns win? He escapes the cage.
I know, right? Like, what? Come on.
Did no one fucking... I'm going to give Maggle Cole the benefit of the doubt that he's like JR and he doesn't know the finish of the matches. Because that's how JR does it, because he wants his calls to sound real, so he doesn't want to know them. So maybe Maggle didn't know. Maybe he thought... I would have assumed he would have been like me and everyone who has any respect for professional wrestling would have been like, oh, the champion should win. He's going in to defend his title against somebody other than this fuck. We should make him look strong. No. Fuck you. You sit on the fucking ground face first and Roman Reigns will climb over the cage.
Alright, so then... After that happens, Rusev comes out. He and
To
Kevin...
defend the honor of pro wrestling. Beat the piss out of fucking Roman.
Along with Kevin Owens, and then who should show up? What?
After an extended ass whooping.
Yeah.
He wasn't Russian. Pun intended.
So Seth comes out to assist.
I like to assume he was coming out to hurt Roman as well. And he jumped off the cage, and Rusev and Owens just happened to get in the way.
They thought it was a beaten up Roman Reigns party, and Seth wanted to join in, but they didn't want him.
And then a very hard cutaway and end the episode.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, I guess they're all dead. Get the spatula. Anything else you want to say about Raw? Are you ready to...
Yeah, this one, it was not the best. It had a lot of story-driven stuff, but again, this is the
It's the
one
go
right...
home.
Yeah, so this is the one right before the pay-per-view, so... Hopefully it'll be good. I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm excited for every pay-per-view because I hope that it's not going to be bad. And, so yeah, we'll, move right along to SmackDown. Alright, so... Starting up, we had the women's contract signing for their next pay-per-view, which is what again?
No Mercy.
No Mercy.
Megadeth. It's the same font as the Megadeth logo.
Oh yeah.
So it's no Megadeth.
So, obviously this was between...
With an A for Dolph Ziggler.
between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. So, you had some nice things to say about Becky's promo.
Yeah, I thought this was probably Becky's best promo. I do have to say Alexa kind of fed into it a little hard.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to be champion. You weren't born to be champion. Let me tell you, I was not in fact born to be champion. Like, I really liked it, so I don't want to take anything away from Becky's promo, but it was just a little shoveled heavy. Because, like, Alexa got no real comeback from it. So it felt a little bit like we need to get to there. So here's what you say.
Yeah.
But, alright.
So yeah, she flipped so Alexa flipped the table and just kind of like, eh.
But Becky's like, I'm a bad bitch, and she just beat up Alexa still.
She ran after her.
Yeah.
All right, so coming after that,
it kind of reminds me of like you see those videos where like the kid brother gets all pissed off and like throws like a paddle at the older brother, and he's just like, oh shit, he's gonna whoop my ass. That's what it felt like.
So yeah. So it was the Usos versus American Alpha. And remember last week we were having a discussion about how you can tell who's who, which Uso. We were technically both right. But, so, Jimmy is in the shirt, Jay is the skin. But you were right about Jimmy having the thicker beard. You know? So.
Well, Jay's got the long thing, and then Jimmy's kind of got like a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not really digging. Like, I'm digging them having a new look, but I'm not digging what they're wearing.
Yeah, they just kind of look like hoodlums.
I don't even say that. It kind of looks like bad knockoff Walmart shit. It's like, oh, like you want to rock like fucking Patriots gear, but like you don't want to spend $60 for a jersey. So it's like blue and red and silver, but you just kind of like, it's like obviously he doesn't have like any of the right markings, so it just kind of looks like a knockoff of a knockoff.
Oh, so Carl, the Nats team, the Nats, I friggin' told those immigrants.
Yeah. So like I don't know, just I don't know.
Right, well, so
let them rock actual gear, like rock the tap out gear they have, like something that just looks. Like, I get what they're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Like, they want to look urban, look fucking tough. Maybe some beanies and shit like that could help. But then rock, like, tap-out shirt and then stuff like that. Like, I don't know if tap-out would be weird, like, oh, we don't want heels. Like, the only guys on the roster that wear 24/7 are the heels. So, I don't know, but...
Alright, so how did you enjoy this match? Or did you enjoy this match?
I did. Really good storytelling. I love Jason Jordan being like, no, I'm not going to tag in my partner. He weighed it pros and cons and realized, you know, he probably had a better chance. Commentary kind of like buried him.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're gonna lose. It's like, oh, okay. I learned that tomorrow. He's a dumbass. He'll win the future wars, but he's gonna lose this one. It's like, shut up. I don't know. I felt like he needed just like one more comeback to make us believe, and then get cut off by the Usos. Like I felt like he got cut off a little too quick, but that's just minor gripes. Other than that, I enjoyed it. Good shit.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Actually, I have one other gripe. Grapple. Usos going back to their splash finish. I didn't like it. That's a face finish.
Yeah.
Stick with the legs and whatever, or come up with something new for a finish. I gave you guys one. You both run. Squisher. I think that shit could work. Like a jumping double hip attack. Like one on each side and just kind of squish them. So, alright, let's continue on.
Next up was Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin with Jack Swagger.
Apollo Creed.
Did I say Creed?
No.
Oh, no. With Jack Swagger on commentary, and Apollo obviously chomping at the bit, trying to get a win over on Baron Corbin. But
there's really only two highlights of this match. Jack Swagger wearing a backwards ball cap in 2016. And Baron Corbin yelling out, fuck, straight into a camera.
No, that was Apollo.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Apollo, after getting his spine stomped in. Which was a weird thing for the finish to be, is just continually kicking him in the spine and then pinning him.
Baron Corbin was screaming at the ref was pretty funny.
Yeah, I did like him chasing off the ref. Some good, just heel heat. Kind of coming into his character.
Yeah.
Because at first I was kind of like, wow, why would you go with boring Corbin over Apollo? But when you look at their characters, Corbin's a lot more, he's more there.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it
So
right
yeah,
now.
this was probably their best match that they had. It wasn't this little shit stomp. Apollo was bringing it to Corbin, but then Corbin did the one thing to turn it around and picked up the win.
I just really hope the Swagger Corbin isn't just a one-sided Corbin wins and move on kind of feud.
Yeah.
Because I think Swag's...
Yeah, Swagger he needs to do something to get it to be relevant again. He was like Dolph Ziggler in that regard. He has a lot of talent. They just weren't using him right.
I'm trying to think who's a lower card heel on SmackDown they could use just to get him over a little bit. Like, who's somebody there that's not doing anything? Because I feel like Swagger has to have a match before, like, too long. Maybe he also beats Apollo. I feel bad, but like, you gotta get Swagger over just to be like, oh, look.
I don't know, man. I'm just kind of...
Because, I mean, like, you always have, like, Victor of the Ascension, who could be somebody go in there with Swags and put on a good little match, but ultimately get his stuff pushed in.
Kurt Hawkins is coming back.
Day one, get his ass kicked by Jack Swagger. We're in the middle of it, fire everywhere. And he just comes out and it's like, we, the people. And he just like fucking Swagger bombs him to the ring.
And so, next up was Dolph versus Miz in an actual title fight for the Intercontinental title. And this was a good match.
Yeah, I really liked it. I don't know if I like it as much as their pay-per-view match, but it was pretty
definitely.
good.
But I mean, this was almost pay-per-view quality. Like,
yeah, I just wish they didn't
opinion.
kind of repeat the same finish. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
going to try to get that over as a Miz gimmick of having a perfume bottle.
or whatever that shit is supposed to be.
Yeah, arrogance.
So yeah, it was a pretty good match. I didn't actually think that they were gonna give Dolph the win. I figured like Miz was gonna cheat.
Ow.
But
I also didn't figure they'd have Miz lose in the tag match the week before.
True.
So I've been kind of just like, I don't know what they're doing. That's probably my big booking gripe on SmackDown was why they had Miz lose there. He should have stayed strong and had AJ lose because it doesn't hurt AJ at all. Alright.
So yeah, Miz picks up the win there. We go to Randy Orton versus Eric Rowan.
What a shit match. I literally
Why?
saw this match and I fast forwarded through it. That's how little of a shit I gave. All I saw was like Eric Rowan got some moves in. He rolled Randy in. Randy hit him with an RKO.
So why? Why are you guys giving so much love to Braun Strowman but not Eric Rowan? Is my big question.
Strowman's bigger. I think it's just Eric Rowan doesn't have fan support, and that's his biggest issue.
I guess.
Like Strowman, everybody like, holy fucking fuckballs. And Harper is such a fucking tremendous big guy athlete that everybody likes him, and Bray is Bray. He's like, let me tell you, friend, I once tongue-kissed a lawnmower. And it still wasn't anything compared to the evils of this universe, my brother. So people digging on Bray.
He's telling that to Bo Dallas and just like, dude, I'm trying to read the paper.
Let me tell you about singing Disney songs in Texas while drunk. I know you want to do it, Bo, but you can't do it. You look like a foolish fool. I'm not quite good at trigonometry, but I've learned to talk in this cadence. Everything I say sounds more profound if you say it like this.
You gotta have him like go down like 5 octaves for the last word. My brother! The world is not what it used to be. Join me, and we shall destroy this world. That's a pretty quiet promo, but
And then Kane comes out and ruins it.
yeah. Alright, so anyway, going on to another shit match, which barely was even a match. This was storytelling. I can't even chalk it up to storytelling. It was supposed to be Nikki and Naomi versus Carmella and Natty.
No, it wasn't. It was supposed to be Nikki and Trin.
That it was, my friend. That it was. Yeah, nice job there, Nikki.
SmackDown Live.
So, basically, Carmella cost the match for her team just by beating the shit out of Nikki.
But she saved us all from a lot of Natalya yelling,
True.
which is just getting awkward. I kind of wish she would just take the gimmick from, like, Brett and her fucking lesser cousin or uncle, or whatever the fuck he is to her, and just give out to Seth Rollins during matches that he's not even in. You're like, you're gonna injure someone, Seth! Just like yelling at another woman about Seth Rollins. That's a winning gimmick right there. Just hating Seth Rollins for things that like have nothing to do with it. Ah! Stop twisting my arm, Seth Rollins. I'm not Seth Rollins. Stop, Seth Rollins, you're gonna injure me. Sorry, Matt. Still better than the farting gimmick.
Yeah. Just about everything was better than that.
Or
Alright.
being in love with the great Khali. Natty, the queen of bad gimmicks.
Yeah. Indeed. So, going on to the final match of the night. John Cena versus Dean Ambrose.
I know a lot of people seem to like this, but not me. So
No.
I'm kind of curious to see what your opinion is, because you're a bigger Danbrose guy than I am.
That's not saying much. I mean, I'm not ready to buy his t-shirt or anything, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the biggest Dean Ambrose fan in this house is Sugar. And she doesn't even seem to care that much anymore. I think just because Finn Balor's gone, all of her love of wrestling is just depleted. But,
yeah, I just didn't give a shit. I don't like
I mean, I thought it was a pretty decent match. I mean, the fact that,
Dean won with the roll-up.
he won clean as a whistle over John Cena.
Yeah, but I always view a roll-up finish as kind of a fuck.
Yeah, but
Like, unless your gimmick is, like, two super technical guys and you out-technical somebody, like,
yeah.
Zack Sabre and Little Rufus, where he out-fucked him and he was able to get the pin with it. Yeah, stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that's clean. But these kind of like, you're going for something, quick roll up, 1, 2, 3, oh, I win, I'm the greatest. And you're like, okay. So you didn't knock him out or anything. Like, he's sitting up looking at you like, congratulations, I guess.
Sugar's like, I heard y'all talking about Dean Ambrose.
I ain't talking shit. You want to get hit?
He wrestles in blue jeans, mister. He deserves your respect.
Yeah. So we found out that we're apparently going to get AJ and Ambrose next week. Yeah.
So hopefully, well, Sugar still hasn't learned to like walk on my basketball shorts.
All right. So you ready to take a quick breather? We're going to look up everything that's Clash of the Night of the Champions, and we'll give you guys our predictions.
All right. So see you in a sec.
All right, guys. Here comes our predictions on Starrcade at the beach. So let's go.
All right. So
Rapid fire.
So kickoff match: Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax.
Nia.
Nia.
Big Nia.
All right. So the Universal Championship match between Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
Nipple H.
He's
He's gonna come out and he's gonna screw Seth, and they're gonna feud.
Yeah. So, Kevin Owens for the win, effectively.
Yeah, but Triple H wins. It'll be the main thing coming out of the match. So yeah.
All right. So Charlotte versus Bayley versus Sasha.
Charlotte.
Charlotte retains. No, I'm gonna go Sasha. I think I'm gonna give it back to Sasha. All right. New Day versus Club.
Club, or the Club is a fucking dead group. At this point, after all these attempts, if they can't fucking win one, they're garbage. Garbage.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, who knows what they're planning? But I will say that they got to give it to the Club to keep New Day relevant and to give more teams more opportunities down the road. Because people are very quickly getting sick of the New Day. They need to be on TV less. They need to, show why they're as popular as they were before. So, get the titles off of them. Put them on the Club.
Think Xavier's the only one who still has some good graces with the WWE universe, and probably a big part of that he's not the one wrestling.
Yeah. All right. So, Rusev versus Roman Reigns.
My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. Ruru.
I think we're gonna give it to Roman.
You know how I'm voting. With my heart and my soul. I don't want Ruru to lose. He's the greatest.
All right. So Cesaro versus Sheamus.
I already said I think Sheamus.
Right? I'm going with Cesaro. I think they're gonna.
All right, so we got some dissension among the ranks, so we might have some interesting predictions.
And then T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick.
I don't see any reason to take it off of him.
No, not at all. So sticking with T.J.
Yeah.
So, all right. So with that being said, moving away from WWE.
Want to shoot through TNA real quick and the shit that matters, aka what's going on. Broken Matt Hardy update. So they're still feuding with Decay, and Vanguard 1 was spying on them while cutting a promo that was on television, so Vanguard 1 did nothing. Other than that, more of a feud kind of with Mrs. Broken Matt and Rosemary, so whatever. The only other thing that really matters to me is Cody's coming.
Yep.
Just Cody.
Brother Cody.
Yeah, brother Cody. And it's weird that he's just going to be Cody when his wife is going to be Brandy Rhodes. I don't understand why you couldn't... Like, honestly, I don't understand why you can't just have the name. It's like, if WWE sued, they'd have to find, like, first a lawyer and a judge that would hear the case. And then they have to be like, oh yes, I understand what pro wrestling is, but I don't know who Dusty is. Because he's going to be like, yeah, it's my dad's name. And it's going to be like, well, you see, Your Honor, we know it. It's like, yeah, but it's my father and he's deceased and it's in honor of him. And be like, well, you see, we want to just be giant dicks. Like, there's no way WWE looks good coming out of that. So
Yeah.
I don't see any reason he can't use it. It's not like they created Rhodes. It's like, oh, we were going to call you fucking Cornelius Buttfuck. we thought better of it. We created this name. Random name generator. Well, your actual first name and your father's ring name. It just happened
Get
to
out
work.
there.
Yeah, it just happened to work.
All right. So yeah, can't think of anything. Moose and yeah.
Yeah, Moose and the other guy, and then EC3 and yeah. So.
All right. So.
Bobby Lashley, that's his name.
All right.
And Gail Kidd is apparently still wrestling.
Yeah.
Which makes me kind of happy, but at the same time, kind of sad.
So going into NXT, Samoa Joe cutting a promo, being Samoa Joe.
Here's her, here, give her the belt, damn it. So he's like, well, I'm gonna kill someone else, and Rio's like,
Shit.
oh, really fucking.
But enough of that.
Like buttering my crumpets.
The return of my boy, Oni, the Gooberg Lorcan,
Yeah.
versus the most mediocre man that ever lived, Austin Aries.
Getting
So,
all that heat. Tell me
great,
about it.
great match. I loved it. Austin Aries looked good, which is surprising. I totally give credit to Oni. Oni just was having none of that shit, but he ended up losing, which I can understand. You know, everybody knows he's already great. Doesn't need any proof that he's great. Let Austin Aries go over him because everybody thinks he sucks. So, good on you, Oni. You're doing good. Hope to see more of you.
Doing the Lord's work. Yeah, hopefully he'll show up more often and kind of start work as a singles guy.
Yeah, because like I am in love with this guy. He's great.
Yeah, he's got much more of a character than a lot of NXT staples.
And he doesn't even really have much of a character. Just like his
Yeah.
in-ring presence is just like
But yeah, even like,
phenomenal.
he's not
Say the
my
least.
my guy, but I like him more than a Ty Dillinger or a fucking shit stick or Shitter's Claw or beautiful blonde Blake. Any of those fucking guys.
Alright, moving on. Women's match versus Aaliyah. Aaliyah versus Billie Kay.
Mhm.
Billie Kay looking good as always.
Yeah,
Aaliyah not too bad either. You know, interesting.
I am not a big fan of Aaliyah's ring work.
Yeah,
Looking a little on the rough-ski side.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they're-
don't want to like just shit on her because you know she's young and she's working there, but
Billie Kay definitely is going places.
yeah, I'm kind of amazed she's not on the main roster already. But I guess they need somebody. But she's a heel, and Asuka is kind of the default heel, in that she's the monster heel. I don't know. I
think Asuka plays by our crazy forms of heels and faces. She just is.
Yeah, yes. Perfect in every way. So
she's chaotic neutral.
can't wait for that Liv Morgan match. I hope she just continually kicks her in the head. Like that's the only offense in a match is just her like continually stomping on her head.
And the final match of the night: Cedric Alexander versus Andrade Cien Almas.
Really good match. This is the kind of shit that old 100 needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he started out, and I have to admit I felt bad for him. Because
Yeah.
he was getting none of it. People were booing him. I was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, but you haven't done anything. And then you have, like, reports coming out. Granted, it's from fucking Alberto Del Douche Nozzle. Like, that Cien's, like, unhappy being in the company already. It's like, yeah, that's not the way to endear yourself to the fans. So, but this was a good match. Good back and forth. Cedric Alexander goes over with the lumbar check, or as fucking Thurman Phillips would call it, that backbreaker there.
That's not a terrible little show. Decent matches all around for three that were there.
I thought there was another match with Hideo. Oh no, he came out at the end of the Austin
Yeah.
Aries. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, look at him, he's a coward. And he came out and he's like, haha, look, he is a coward. And it's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about, Corey Graves? Like, I understand heel commentary, but like, that doesn't even make logical sense. Look at that coward coming out to defend his honor. Fight a man. So cowardly. Like, climb the steel cage to win. Cowardly fuck.
Alright, so moving on to Lucha Underground. First match of the night was another Dial of Doom match.
Dario's
Dial of Doom with Matanza versus The Mac.
I actually called it before you spun it, because that was like the one name, like, super in frame. And I was just like, I wonder if it's going to be the Mac. Because I was like looking at some of them. Dr. Wagner's still there. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. Puma was on there. and he rolled it, and it was Mac. Well, spun it, I guess I should say. He didn't roll it. Just like,
just throws it up in the air.
It says the Mac.
The Dragon Stickle Jr.
I kind of wonder on the Shutsuki side, like, they must have it weighted. Because imagine if, like,
Yeah.
Dragon Azteca Jr., fuck me.
Yeah.
They just ruined our entire season. So, yeah, it's got to be weighted. But, yeah, good match with Mac. Good storytelling.
Absolutely.
Still not super keen on old Matanza. And later on, we have somebody else I'm not quite so keen on either. So, this was not my...
Alright, so basically, before we even get into any of it, Dario would eventually come out and say that this is going to be a best of 5 match.
Well, no, he said that after.
Yeah, he said that's what I'm saying, though, just so we can get it all out of the way. So there's not a whole lot to talk about, really. The best of 5 match for the ultimate opportunity between Tejano and Cage.
And Cage is up 1 right now. Cage won with a discus clothesline. Okay.
Against Tejano, who the whole premise of this is that they're both big, both strong, intimidating brick shithouses.
Despite the fact Tejano's not really.
Yeah.
Like, he's barrel-chested and that's about it. And he blew up super fast in this match. Like, I was kind of like, Jesus. So, I gotta ask, do you think WWE caught wind that this was the way it was going, so that's why they won the best of 7?
I think so.
As counter, kind of like douchebaggery?
It could be. Yeah, it's a very,
Because that is a very old gimmick for WWE, just to, like, randomly pull out of their ass.
Yeah, it definitely...
Especially because in WWE it made no sense. There's like, you've had 2 matches and Cesaro won both of them. How about a brand new best of 7 that Cesaro gets no points in? It's like,
Yeah, I got a feeling that is the case. This just seemed kind of a big coincidence.
Yeah. So, whatevers. Whatever and whatnot.
So, final match. Good match.
Going to talk about the little opening. So, you had Mundo and Taya in Dario's office, and Mundo's like, I'm not competing in any more matches unless it's for the title. Give me a title match. And he's like, no.
I'll even say, I'm surprised he didn't do like the whole, I'll even say it in Spanish. No.
Yeah.
That would have been funny. But.
So, Mundo retires to his dojo to perfect his shaman of sexiness and whatever he does. So Taya took his place. So it was
Dick Kick Mafia versus Aerostar, Phoenix, and Drago for their trios championships.
And I'm a big fan of the Worldwide Underground, but I did not understand the story they were trying to tell.
Yeah, this just kind of came out of nowhere.
Because the entire time I thought Jack Evans was overselling to be funny, kind of like a Bullet Club style, like they're kind of playing with the audience, like what you believe. Like the Young Bucks are kind of known for it. So I was like, is Jack Evans, like, because he kept, like...
throwing a hissy fit.
Well, he kept flopping every time he'd get tagged. Like
he
was getting, like, punched, but he was just kind of like... And he'd be like, ugh. So I was kind of like...
well, yeah, so...
Like, I thought it was just supposed to be like a joke, kind of like, fuck you, I'm taking the piss out of wrestling. Like, indie joke kind of thing. But then, like, all of a sudden it was, like, supposed to be serious... But, like, it doesn't make any sense, and he just sat out the rest of the match. Like,
I'm just like, this is kind of confusing.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I didn't see what got him angry to begin with.
Yeah, it was, again, very confusing.
But, Taya's definitely made to look strong. I gotta point out one thing, and I love you, Taya. I'd do horrible things to you, but... she has a very weird run. It's like she's taken too many steps to get where she's going.
You know what I think might have been the spiel? Like when he first came out, he just kind of flipped and flopped, and then they immediately tagged him back out. Maybe he got pissed because of that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yes, do you agree that Taya runs weird?
Yes, I will agree. Just...
like her legs are going too fast for how much forward movement she's getting.
It's like
So it just kind of looks like she's going in slow motion.
Looks like an old one of those Deke cartoons, you know, like those like Street Sharks or the Street Fighter cartoons specifically.
But other than that, she is by far my favorite female wrestler right now in Lucha.
Yeah.
In Lucha. You know my favorite. I don't know.
I mean, I'd have to agree. I mean,
Katrina could take it. Who knows? I was a big Maxine fan back in the old NXT days, so we'll see what she can do in Lucha. See if she's, rusty or if she's keeping it up. So we'll see. But yeah, really solid thing. Fucking PJ Black. Man, that guy's smooth.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Excellent.
That dude is... He was a jobber in WWE, and now in Lucha, he's one of the best. Like, I like Aerostar. He's another guy who's super clean, but PJ makes everything look super believable. Super hit that when he blocked the DDT into a Northern Lights.
Right.
Or actually, I think he tucked the head, so a normal suplex.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was good. Just amazing. Big points to Phoenix. He did a lot of cool, just character stuff.
I was about to say, not a whole lot from Drago this match. Like he didn't get much in.
Yeah, maybe he's nursing injury. Maybe it just wasn't his night to do something. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on his case, but I do have to say between the three, he kind of has the least character development. Like, all we really know about him is he's like a Kung Fu Dragon guy.
Likes his nunchucks.
Plays too much Skyrim. So, like, because, like, Phoenix, we have quite a bit.
Yeah.
We know that Katrina in storyline wants to sit on his face. But she also apparently likes Mil Muertes, and he kind of looks like he might put a few drink downs, and the backhand comes out, so she don't want to be messing around. Which is wrong and morally reprehensible. Never. You guys know. I'm not fucking defending it, but he's a bad guy. He's a zombie bad guy. But in like Aerostar, he's kind of goofy, so it kind of just gives you a character to play with.
Yeah.
Whereas Drago is like deadly serious.
Yeah. But he's in a dragon costume. So
but before we get to the end of the show and roll away, Son of Havoc Pizza Bagels commercial with Masquerita Sagrada when they're sitting on the couch. And Mom of Havoc comes in. She's like, "You can call me Linda," so Linda Havoc. So yeah, I'm usually like one of those like wrestling. Gotta be like, you gotta protect the honor and such. I love this. This was so good.
This was pretty awesome. And then they switch over to like the commercial, and then
of
Famous Bee and Masquerita's just like without saying anything, without seeing his face, you could just feel the salt.
Yeah,
that was magical.
I wonder when Angelico's supposed to come back. Not Angelico. Assholes online. So
and
we got to talk about the very end of that match. So, old Mundo came out, and he beat the absolute piss out of all three of the trio champions by himself. He, like, body checked them all in the corner. He's, like, jumping one-to-one, punching the shit out of them. And then, like, Sexy Star came in and did, like, the weakest cleanup ever. I don't know, maybe Mundo just wasn't in the mood to sell, but she, like, kicked him, and he just kind of, like, slowly walked out of the ring. I was just like, Jesus Christ. And then, like, Taya took, I think, a clothesline to the outside or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely built it into an 8-person match, but I don't know. Mundo is so much bigger of a star than anybody here.
Yeah.
Maybe Phoenix could be argued to be in his class, but they're not making it feel like that.
Yeah.
But who knows if Jack Evans is going to keep up the bitch shit, if that's going to be his gimmick, that he's screwing over them.
Yeah.
Maybe they cut him and put somebody else in the team, you know? I think Mundo, as a faction leader, Johnny Arudo. You know, that could be good shit. I think PJ deserves a spot. I think Ty deserves a spot. Who knows? We'll see what they're going to do with Jack Evans. I think he deserves the spot, but if that's going to be his character doesn't deserve the spot. If you catch my drift, baby. Alright, so, anything else we got to talk about?
Think so. Nothing really in the news in terms of wrestling that I can think of.
Well, I guess one thing to talk about is...
And we already said Cody is going to TNA, so...
Yeah. The week before last, Raw had a 1.8 in the ratings, which is... You think that's why there was a cage match on Raw?
Yes. No, abso-friggin-lutely.
Because it made no booking sense, but they were like, hey, this'll pop the crowd. Probably would have made more sense to put the cruiserweights in it, though. Or, you know, somebody people give a shit about. Like, Rufus versus Seth in the cage.
Yeah.
And then you could have Kevin Owens trying to get in and Roman coming out and him being like, I'm not done with either of you, and Seth's like, stay out of my fight. And
yeah, I think that would have been a little bit better.
Roman's kind of like, well, fuck you, Seth. I don't give a shit what you have to say. Like, you're still a dick to me. Like, I still remember he's a dick heel, and even though Seth is now a face, he's kind of a face in, you know, name only. Like, Roman's still like, you're that douchebag who hit me with a chair a bunch of times. So, like, they could have done a lot better if they'd flipped the two events.
Yeah.
So, alright, with that, guys, I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about in the world of wrestling. A couple of cool podcasts to watch if you guys haven't seen them. Just watched Stone Cold had the revival. JR's podcast, he had, I think it was Adam Pearce, the Bullet Club guy of ROH. He's like the leader for the America branch. His name's Adam Pearce. Not a big ROH guy. But I listened to that. That was pretty good. I didn't see a new Talk is Jericho. I know we did one with James Ellsworth. I think it was a little while ago. That was pretty good if you haven't checked it out. They're all on YouTube, guys. So they're like, you don't really have to search that much. Yeah, so those are the three that I listened to recently that were really good. I think the Revival one's technically kind of old, but I just happened to have seen it recently and it was really good. So, alright guys, I'm Dave.
I'm Super Judge Fun. And we'll catch you guys next time.